Well, Wimbledon starts today, and that means the tennis season is in full swing. So how do you prevent injuries while hitting the court? Well, joining us now is Dr. Haim Hechtman from PointPerformance. Dr. Hechtman, good to see you. You know, we all do this. We all kind of go out. We see our heroes on TV and go outside. I can go do that. I can play, but we really can't. We're not world-class athletes.
That's correct.
How do we avoid the injuries?
Thanks so much for having me. So many of us think that we're still weekend warriors. We go out there, we forget that we're no longer high school athletes. So there's some steps that you can take to prevent yourself from getting injured. The first thing that you can start by doing is making sure that you're prepared. And this concept of prehab is becoming more popular in the athletic and in the medical communities. So there's some steps that you can take to keep yourself safe and healthy out there. The first thing that I'd recommend that you do is to start doing some dynamic movements prior to getting out on the court. That includes jogging forward and backwards, moving side to side, doing some things to prepare your muscles so that they're at a length and range and that you're able to go ahead and play without hurting yourself.
So like do a lot of stretching ahead of time, make sure you're good and limber before you get out there.
Yeah, that's correct. So in order to make sure that you don't get hurt, we want to make sure that your muscles are warm, that they're lengthened, that they've gone through activities similar to the activities you're going to be doing out on the court. And that's going to include lunging, bounding, moving, jogging, changing directions.
If you're somebody that doesn't get out and do this a lot, do you recommend in terms of how much activity? I mean, you don't want to go out and like say, I'm going to play 4 hours today, 4 hours tomorrow. Hey, it's a holiday weekend, why not? Try to limit, kind of ease your way into the performance?
Absolutely. That concept of progressively improving or increasing the activity makes sense. We want to start by playing 20 to 30 minutes with a friend or a family member, then increasing it to 2 hours at a maximum. We have to watch out for hydration when you're out there, especially when it's hot out. So we want to make sure that you're taking in approximately 20 ounces of fluid of either water or a sport drink prior to going out on the court, and then continuing to replenish your hydration with 4 to 8 ounces of fluid every 15 minutes of activity, upwards of 60 minutes.
So up to 8 ounces of fluid every 15 minutes. That's a lot.
That is a lot, but with these hot, humid temperatures in the D.C. area, you know, we do lose a lot of fluid, and losing fluid can lead to cramping of the muscles. It can predispose you for more injury, and so it's really important to keep them nice and lengthened, allow your muscles to be hydrated, and allow you to play safely.
Let me get to, before I let you go, let's say someone is not watching this, does not take heed to your words. They go out and they hurt themselves. What are some injuries you usually see with weekend warriors, if you will, on the courts, out on the courts? And then what are some things they can do to get healthy quickly?
Absolutely. So there's 2 major types of injuries that we see. The first type of injury is from overextending yourself. That's a sprain or a strain. And the second type, as you were just mentioning, is more along the lines of the repetitive strain injuries like a tennis elbow or a hamstring tendonitis that's going to come from either strings being malaligned in your racket or from you just playing too much tennis in a short period of time.
Okay, and then just basically rest is what gets you... I mean,
you know, rest, ice, obviously some professional consultation from a physical therapist or from your medical provider could assist to make this transition go faster, but you know, any of those things can keep you on the court and keep you healthy.
Excellent. I've got to let you go. Is there a website where people can go for some other tips?
Absolutely. So on our website, PointPerformance.com, we have some tips. Also, the American Medical Association has wonderful tips to help you to stay safe and stay healthy out there.
Okay. Dr. Haim Hechtman from PointPerformance, good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Have fun on the courts this weekend. Enjoy Wimbledon.